Want to know about the pros and cons of living in the Silicon Valley and the San Francisco Bay Area? Stay tuned. Let's start with one of the most important cons that we have on this list: high cost of living. Let's be real. California is not cheap, and neither is the Silicon Valley. It's one of the most expensive places to live. So no wonder this is on the top of our list. Things tend to be more expensive here, especially when it comes to food, services, repairs, and especially the housing market. In the Silicon Valley, it is not unusual to see $1.2 million single family homes as a fixer-upper. Yes, I said fixer-upper. Most of the country would see this as probably a mansion in their area, but in our area, cost of living is so high that this is, a fixer-upper. One thing everybody loves to complain about is taxes. Yes, we do have high tax rates in the area for sales tax, also property tax, as well as everything from income tax as well. We are one of the most heavily taxed places in the country. If you don't like our taxes, there's always our neighbors, Oregon, and also Nevada. Politics. Yes, most of you in the rest of the country don't like our politics. Sometimes we don't either, just to let you know. But we are the land of rule and regulations, where a lot of things like the plastic bag ban or the plastic straw ban originated from here. Be forewarned that sometimes our politicians would rather enact new rules rather than fixing some other issues like homelessness or crime. Let's talk about traffic and commutes. Yes, this is something that all of us love to complain about here because it's real. When we joke around about our commute being terrible, yes, we're not lying. Sometimes we're sitting there because of a car accident and there's just nothing that we can do. We can't even get off an exit. And also bad drivers. That's another negative. Traffic and commutes in the Bay Area. I might recommend, if you can, find a place close to your work, because sometimes being stuck on 280, 880, or 101 is not the jam, especially during rush hour commute. I'm going to take a guess. This is probably why Elon Musk designed the self-driving car. You'll also find traffic at weird odd hours that you don't think there would be traffic at, which is like 2 p.m. sometimes on a weekday or, even a weekend. Sometimes even 11 p.m. Another con is that a lot of people who grew up here are priced out of their homes and also out of the area, so they tend to move away. If you're around here, I'm just gonna warn you, some of your close friends that you made may end up moving to another state. You'll also meet a lot of transplants here. A lot of people that are here didn't actually grow up in the Bay Area like me. Unfortunately, wildfires are starting to become the norm. I wish it could say different, but unfortunately, it may be the future. However, we have El Niño coming, so hopefully we'll get a lot of snow in the mountains this year, and hopefully that'll help us out quite a bit. With that said, I always recommend for people around here to have good air purifiers inside their home, and also for some people, especially if you're in the outskirts, probably a generator if PG&E is going to try to turn your power off because of high winds and also a high fire danger. Okay, so I can't lie, there's always going to be areas, especially in the cities, where we have a lot of crime. A lot of them are car break-ins. Yeah. Well, one thing that you should know if you're moving into this area or you're traveling into this area is that you should never leave anything exposed in your car. Always pack it in the trunk or take it with you. That way, it will be no invitation for somebody to go, hey, look at that backpack. Maybe I should take it. It's unfortunately what has happened in the past decade, actually 2 decades. So always be smart. You can find this everywhere in the state, in the country, actually in the world, but you'll run into impatient and sometimes rude people. That's not to say that there isn't any friendly people out there, but a lot of people here are always in a hurry, so be expected that you'll get some kind of cranky people sometimes. An example is, if you're in the line at a grocery store or waiting for a table at a restaurant, you'll see some people kind of getting a little huffy and being a little disgruntled in general, but on the bright side, you'll find a lot of amazing people in this area to kind of, weigh that out. Now, let's talk about all the things I love and the pros of living in the Silicon Valley and the San Francisco Bay Area. The weather! Yes, the weather. It is mid-November, it is 75 degrees outside, and I'm still wearing sandals right down there. Yep, you can't beat it. I've seen snow in other areas, which is great for those of you that love playing in snow, but for a California girl like me who grew up in the Bay Area, I would just prefer just to drive over to Tahoe if I want to get a taste of the snow. Oh, and then you don't have to shovel it too. Kind of a bonus. During the summer, the Bay Area is pretty good compared to other places like Las Vegas. We still get a lot of high temperatures here and there, but it's nowhere close to the rest of the country as far as humidity and heat goes. Spring and fall, meh, they're there. For those of you that like all four seasons, you may want to move somewhere else. It's pretty mild weather here all year round. The beautiful thing about living in the Bay Area is we're so close to so many things. Within a few hours drive, you're in either Santa Cruz, Half Moon Bay, there's also wine country, and you can even go all the way down to Monterey for a lovely weekend. LA, it's a little farther of a drive, but it's probably about an hour flight, or even driving to Tahoe is actually a fun excursion too. Growing up in the Bay Area, it's very culturally diverse. It's wonderful. The one thing I also love about it is there's so many restaurants. There's so many good restaurants around here, and I think you'll love it. One of the biggest complaints I have from my friends that move away is they can't find a comparable burrito. Yep, especially in places like New York, but they can't find a comparable burrito like the ones that we have in the Bay Area. There's lots of activities to do in the Bay Area, like outdoor activities such as art and wine festivals, hiking, trails, going to the beach, as well as music and art festivals and theme parks. And there's lots of museums around here. Let's be real. A lot of people who didn't grow up here move here because of the job opportunities. Yes, we are surrounded by Google, Netflix, Facebook, Twitter. Everything is around here. So there's abundance of tech jobs as well as a lot of service jobs too. The salaries are much higher than in the rest of the country. If you think about it, our In-N-Out burger, their starting wage is $19 an hour right now. Yes, $19 an hour. So this area attracts a lot of brilliant minds, and I'm not talking about just the creatives like the artists and musicians, which they play a wonderful role in. I'm talking about the software and hardware engineers, the managers, and the creative types that basically bring a lot of these products that you're working with daily into your homes. We have early adoption of a lot of technology, which is fun if you're a nerd like me. That also comes with lots of delivery services. You can get like everything from alcohol, food, to even your weed delivered here. Overall, I call Silicon Valley my home. I grew up here. I don't really plan on moving anytime soon. Even with all the cons I listed, I really don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to seem. I tend to see the best in every circumstance instead of focusing on the worst. And I believe that helps me lead a happy and healthy life here. Overall, the Silicon Valley is a wonderful place to live, especially if you're geeky and nerdy like me, want to look for great job opportunities, some of the best schools in the country. Try it out. Feel free to reach out to me as well. My name is Jamie Giarratana, and thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions about the San Francisco Bay Area, I'm a realtor with Keller Williams and United Home Group. We are in the heart of Silicon Valley. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And leave a comment below if you have any questions.